Interesting. Eagle. And what happens is every time the House of Representatives here gathers, there's always a guy wearing a red, white, and blue Dr. Seuss hat, and they see him come in, Dr. Pot, and they go, no. And don't you think there are people who've hurt the credibility of the UFO thing?
You know there is.
Yeah.
You know there is. And see, my goal as an astronomer and as chief photo and video analyst for this organization, MUFON, okay, is to weed the truth out. Okay, no pun intended on the word weed. Okay, but the idea is to try and get the truth from the chaff. You know, you try and separate that. Yes, you find a lot of people that want attention, and they go out there and they will create hoaxes. They will say that things happen to them. But guess what? We have ways to figure that out, you know. We can figure it out. We have people that, you know, have worked for federal agencies who work with us to try and interview people to tell us whether these people are being truthful and give out their impressions. And what we found was in the Hudson Valley in particular, this location has been a hotbed for decades, actually over 100 years, of UFO sightings. Several thousand cases have occurred there.
Let me ask you a question about MUFON real quick. Do you guys do what scientists do, which is try to prove yourself wrong before you get to a conclusion?
That's exactly what I do as a photo and video analyst. I look for all the conventional explanations. All right, I think of it as a funnel. I funnel everything down, okay, through this funnel of knowledge and understandable objects. And if it falls out of the bottom, it's truly an unknown. And so, you know, I've looked at thousands of cases through the years. And again, as an astronomer, I've taken every bad picture with a camera you could ever take. I've worked in big observatories, small observatories, my own observatories. I have 2 observatories I manage on either side of the continent. And the thing is, when we look at stuff in MUFON, we try to figure out if it's something conventional. And if it doesn't match one particular thing, okay, that looks like a jet heading away, and so it's a really short contrail. It almost looks like a comet. But I got a submission the other day. Someone said that's a UFO. Well, it is only because we don't know the airline.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what do you have to say about the anomalies both on the Nimitz, but also the released videos that have leaked out of the government? What is your opinion on those?
Well, I analyzed all the videos that have been leaked so far, and none of them prove the case. And I think that's why they were released, because they don't prove anything. They could be conventional aircraft.
Look at this. Matt on the show. He hasn't spoken yet.
Bob asked me to shut up earlier. I'm not going to.
Well, I had a.
It wasn't
and by
an
the
order.
Way, and by the way, for you,
Matt.
for those of you viewing on video, yes, I had a young lady's profile up who sent me a friend request, and I'm going to go there with Chewy here in just a little bit. Sorry about that, Mark. So you don't.
Are we talking about the Tic Tacs?
No, not the Tic Tacs. They don't have video of that. So you're saying that the ones that were done by the, that was taken by the pilots.
Yes.
That are on FLIR, you don't see those as UFOs yet.
I did not, but I can tell you that when you talk to them, I've talked to almost every one of those people. We're friends, and I can tell you that many of them, their lives have been ruined, if not and changed, by the fact that they had to keep this quiet. They felt it was monumental, what they visually saw. Okay. But what was released by the government doesn't prove the point, and I think that that's because there's too many cooks in the kitchen, too many people that have opinions, and so they go to the most conservative side and say, "Well, only release this, then don't release that," because Frank over here doesn't think that's they think that's too telling, So I think that the government is being very, very careful on what they release, and the thing that I find is that like with the Hudson Valley, the government doesn't want to talk, but the Hudson Valley people didn't want to talk either.
Hundreds or dozens, like thousands in Arizona saw something fly over, and Hudson Valley. I know it's been happening for years. Correct?
Over 100, and there's several thousand cases.
What's so good about the Hudson Valley?
That was part of our thrust. I started analyzing geology. I got geologic maps. I talked to people that know the geology of the area. We actually visited geological sites to see if we could, see if the rocks had some kind of resonating feature that might be attractive. But we're going at it from the other side. We don't know if these craft exist. We don't know what they're using to propel themselves. We don't know how they're traveling in the atmosphere if they exist. So when you try to analyze things, you got to analyze everything. You have to say, well, is the magnetic field different here? How about the gravitational field? We know that both vary all over the world. What about electric fields? What about the geology? So we studied a lot of these things and tried to figure out what might cause this. But not knowing how these craft are actually propelled, it just gives us more questions, unfortunately. And I hate that response. More questions than answers. I hate that.
And you see that in Shock Doc, The Alien Invasion, which is streaming on Discovery Plus. I was listening to this podcast yesterday, and the guy made a great point, and he's not mean about it, but he was interviewing somebody, and he said that after the first few abduction cases happened, there's the theme were the same. In other words, they were injecting you and taking spermatozoa or ovum, and said that you would meet your space baby, and what happens? And we know babies. That it is you pick up stories from somebody else and make them your own,
right?
And I think that does a disservice to trying to figure this all out. And the government actually, if you believe it or not, Project Blue Book and things like that were put out there to make people look silly.
Right?
Have you heard that, Mark? Maybe not Blue Book, but you know what I'm talking about. Let them talk about UFOs.
I do, and I know that there's a lot of people that think Blue Book was a cover to just appease a questioning public, and so there's all those stories. But we don't know the answers. But now take a look at the latest release. The government says, I read the paper, of course, the release in June, end of June, that basically said, we think there's all these different categories of potential unknowns, and we think that some are like airborne clutter, foreign countries doing testing, and us doing black project testing. And then they had an other category. They said other things that operate differently than anything we have, but can probably be explained if we had more data. It's like they won't go right over that edge to say, okay, these are true unknowns. They say, well, they can probably be explained.
But do you fall for that's another thing, where so-called government guys that, I can't forget the guy's name, that claimed to be at Area 51, and then he said that his degrees from the university were erased and all this stuff when he talked about seeing the actual aliens interacting, that the Roswell had 3, 1 died, or 2 died, but one alien lived for 4 or 5 years and then got sick and died. Do you fall into any of that belief?
You know what? Carl Sagan is my favorite astronomer, and he said it best. You know,
the billions and billions of stars in the galaxy. Thank you.
100% with you on this. You know, extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof, effectively, paraphrasing. And
that's very good.
So I think that that's something that is true for all these cases. So we were focusing on the here and now in Hudson Valley. We're listening to the folks there, listening to their past events. But then we went out with scientific gear trying to generate other events, trying to generate the possibility that some type of communication could be established. And we, I'm a skeptic, and like I guess you, Matt, you're a skeptic.
No, Matt is, and
I think we're all somewhat skeptical.
I actually saw something out my window at 4:00 in the morning that I could never explain, that lit an entire valley here, looked like a giant chandelier, and was made up of separate lights. I went to get my wife to show her, and it was gone. And then I mentioned it on the radio. This is years ago, and many people in that area said they saw the same thing. So.
Mark, this is Matt, and Dale likes to call me a skeptic. I've never called myself a skeptic. Where Dale and I don't see eye to eye is what you just said. The idea that an extraordinary claim requires extraordinary proof or evidence, and I have yet to see any extraordinary proof or evidence. I don't know why the default set was something is not understood, and you even said it. You said that the government has come out and said, well, we don't see anything extraordinary here. And I don't understand.
They're not to anything extraordinary, but I've talked, and I actually witnessed something extraordinary on a U.S. submarine when I was a guest on the sub, because I have a visual effects company, and I also do a lot of work for the Navy. And we saw an unknown submerged object, the sonar guy, and he exclaimed to the executive officer when he asked him how fast it was moving. He said, "Several hundred knots, sir." And it was underwater,
right?
Several hundred knots.
Were they balloon knots?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's a callback. That's inside baseball.
That's a callback to something that happened on our show years ago.
Yeah, but you understand, Mark, that's something you saw that shocked you, but we don't know that anything was there on the sonar, and it wasn't an anomaly. I mean, here's an issue I have also. We keep talking about how nefarious the government is and that it's keeping secrets. Yet, I constantly hear from people who are in your world of, UFO research or whatever. They turn to government officials to be their hammer to prove something. I was on a government ship. I spoke to a government official. Well, either the government is nefarious and up to no good, or they're not. We can't have it both ways. We're trying to square a circle here.
I know, I agree. And see, in my case, when I asked the XO, I said, "Sir, I know." He called him a fast mover on the boat. I said, "I'm familiar with these fast movers. Is there anything I can help you with?" And he looks at me and he says, "D'Antonio, right?" I said, "Yeah, that's my name, Mark D'Antonio." He goes, "You having a good trip so far?" "Yes, sir, I am." "Let's keep it that way." And he turned and walked away. Okay. A few years later, I had to do a job for the Joint Chiefs with my model making side of the visual effects thing. So I'm down in Washington delivering the project. And it was a project that was very high end. It was actually a presidential briefing model. And I asked one of the chiefs, I said, "What can you tell me about this fast mover program?" You know, and I shouldn't have asked because that's really pushing boundaries, okay, especially for this kind of project plan here. And he said to me something that you wouldn't necessarily expect. He could have said, "I have no idea what that is." But he said, "I can't talk about the program, Mark. I'm sorry."
Wow. Okay, Mark. Well, listen, I know we have a limited time with you. Yeah, the show, again, is Shock Doc Alien Invasion, Hudson Valley. I don't know if we'll ever know in our lifetimes, but I still find it super interesting. And thank you. We appreciate having you on, dude.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Okay.
I never try. I wanted to try to establish what his baseline was.
Wow.
What his baseline of his beliefs are. Yeah. How far does he go?
His baseline, he told us his baseline. He said when he was 11 years old, he made it his life's passion.
I think he believes more than he lets on. But I want to address something since we're on camera, and that probably wasn't the best segment for camera. I forgot we do it on Fridays. Matt may have pointed out on camera that I had a young lady's profile up on Facebook. Well, I tend to approve them because women don't argue. And I'm still a man.
Plus, you're trying to help Chewy out.
Yeah.
Right.
I saw a beautiful woman. Her name is Marley. If you're listening, Marley, I had your profile up.
And I'm surprised.
I was
it's
going through
usually
your pictures, and there's no pictures of a man.
That's a little sus. That's a little suspect.
Now, if I was Chewy back in the day, I would friend her and immediately send her a text and say hello. But you wouldn't do that, would you?
I'll do it right now just to see what you.
Well, you see her last name. It'll be on camera. I'm sorry, Marley, but we went through your photos. I don't see her with a dude in any of the photos, and she's gorgeous.
How far are we on the Tinder thing?
Look how, dude, I've got Tinder. You haven't told us what to do yet.
That is an unidentified fine object right there.
She's gorgeous. Now, would you write her and say hi, and then maybe
right now I'm gonna do it.
And if she was single, maybe have her for audience of one, and then say, "Would you like to go to dinner?"
All of that. I'm gonna do it right now.
Well, there you go.
Where does this young woman live?
You know what? Yeah, is this a real profile? That's the question.
There she
Hold on.
Adding as a friend.
Let's see here.
Go to about.
Boom.
About, that makes no sense. That
shows
seems like that would tell you everything you want to know.
Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. There you go. Studies literature. Do you know any good literature?
No.
Just throw out some good books.
Yeah.
When you're talking to her. Yeah, exactly.
Tale of Two Cities.
By
Bright Lights.
What were the two cities?
By who?
Poe.
Do you know the follow-up to that one?
Huh?
You know the follow-up to that one, don't you? Bright Lights, Big Titties.
Really?
Use that. Write that down for this young lady when you
She's
say hi
gorgeous,
to her.
I'm gonna message
dude.
her right now.
Man.
Hello. That's what I say? That's my opening line?
Oh, she got that. She got the
just
white
say
tennies
hi.
on, Dale. Do you like that look?
Tennis. Oh, I love the
You
tennis
like the
shoes,
white
dude.
tennies, don't you?
I actually have done a search online for tennis shoes, and my wife has bought.
Type what you want to say to her right now.
Well, I'm not you, dude.
Oh, well, tell me what to say.
Hey, Marley. Hey, what size bra do you wear?
Just right. Hi. I noticed.
what works?
I noticed you were a friend of the show. I would start
Hi.
there. Maybe she's listening.
Noticed you were a friend of the show.
Hi, Richard. What's up?
And then just write sloppy top ?
What does sloppy top mean?
It's if we had to introduce Bob to that slang.
How y'all doing this morning?
When
Okay,
you're
how are
old,
you, man?
hold on, Mark. When you're old, you will miss that. Look, I'm very happy, but Bob, every guy in this room will tell you
You definitely come off as a guy who's very happy.
we miss the chase.
That's what I think
You
y'all
miss
are eager
you
to-
miss the chase, don't you? Guys will miss the chase. Go ahead,
this
Mark.
girl's gonna be
Richard.
really-
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, man? Speaking on the topic of aliens and UFOs, I think they're out there, man, to be honest. Like, look at how many galaxies there are. It's got to be like they're probably human-like, whatever.
There you go. I mean, Mark's theory is dead on.
I think we can end the
I
discussion.
agree.
All right, buddy.
I agree, man. Like, I really do agree. But
I never really looked at it that way, man.
For it just to be us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Richard.
Damn.
I have a scooter call. I don't know if you guys want to hear a scooter call
I think we just heard one kind
that shows you. I need to edit it down. I'll edit it down and bring it in next week where he just talks about people from high school.
Yeah.
He's stuck in high school. It's crazy.
A lot of guys are.
No, dude, that's his mental. He's got a mental illness that the dude's just stuck in high school. No, not a thing. Would y'all rather do Fast Food Fanatics or look at Thrillist, things to do in Austin this weekend? Or no, let's do this since we're on camera. Here's a preacher who has so much faith that he is going to put his hand in dog poo on stage.
For what reason?
I don't know, and it's one of those things where the guy, is why can't I get that full screen? Maybe hit full screen. It's one of those things where a guy's doing a show online, but at 1:14,
And has a nicer studio than us.
yeah, at 1:14, he shows the preacher. So let's see what the preacher. First of all, who had to go pick up the dog poo?
Or do you think it's real?
To bring it in.
It's probably
Bob's
not
right
real. It's
here.
probably
It's
chocolate
not-
pudding or something.
Ye of little faith.
It's probably what would be the closest? Fudge?
Melted sneakers.
I don't know. Melted snick. Yeah.
I bet it's not dog poop because no one's gonna go pick. It's probably human poop. You would substitute human poop, right? You're not
Don't
an
be
idiot.
disgusting. Let's find out.
Let's take a look.
So do you know what God equates as sin in the Bible? He equates poop, filth
Whoa.
in the Bible.
Nah, we're going to have this guy's commentary with ours. I'm sorry.
No, this is not a brownie. No, this is not Snickers bar. I own two Bull
I want to say something right now. If that was a big, because the pile is huge. If that's me,
You're leaving it there.
now here would be my sermon. Do you Do you know what the
Yeah, look how close he is to that.
Because Matt said it before on poop. Once the magic shell is broken, then all bets are
I don't
up.
think that's been shelled yet. I think that's
It's not dog poop. This is frustrating.
Yeah, it's clay or something.
You think a preacher's going to lie?
Yeah, I 100% think that a televised
This is
preacher-
Great Dane.
Dear God.
Great Dane stuff.
Do you know how?
What a crappy idea, guys.
Oh, God.
Oh, jeez.
Let me see if I can find it.
Are you mad that this
Separate.
guy's making your jokes before you?
Yeah.
That's literally a joke we would make on the show.
Hold on. What is it called? YouTube? Uh-huh. And then preacher.
And how convenient that he got his Great Dane to just, you know,
On a cake platter.
do it on
nonetheless.
a square foot tile or whatever it's on.
Hey, has Marley written you back yet, bro?
No, not yet. Tonight. Probably
See, here's
tonight.
another guy that is having to do a commentary. I just want the clear dog crap guy. Why can't I just find the dog crap guy?
I think we all want that.
Look, they show. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and go with it, I guess. As we have to with this guy's.
God sees. Now listen, this is important. Psalm 141, verse 2. May my
God damn it, Dale.
Okay, as many of you know, I am not a Christian.
Yeah, all right.
I truly
Thank
don't.
you, David Packman. You're ruining the video.
Hey,
that
he's
you
got
put
his
up.
own show, dude.
Okay, let's just see. Let's see.
You got to
let's see.
respect
We
him.
should do it.
He's one of our
Let's go-
colleagues.
Let's go to the part
We
where.
should do shows like this.
Okay, he's going to put his hands in the poop. Here we go. Here we go.
Everybody's a star
can
now.
see.
too. Everybody.
Oh, he did
and
it
so
already.
you know what you say?
Hold on. I would be vomiting at this point.
Anybody would.
I can watch pimples being popped.
Unless this is his
I can
bag.
watch surgery. I cannot handle the smell of poop. I don't know what it is. I had a dentist one time. I swallowed a crown, or at least I thought I did. And he said, those are old dentist working on a Saturday. He said, those are expensive. You should try to find it. I tried to find it, and I'm telling you, PTSD. I'll never do something like that again.
Oh, really trying to score some brownie points with God, we might.
Welcome to the David Packman and Dudley show.
It's funny because
And
people
what
are
I
watching us.
see comes up like incense before me.
Oh, my God.
And what's going on in your soul, I can see in ways nobody
He's
else.
playing with it like clay now.
Thank you.
Yes, he is playing with clay
you know
like
what?
clay.
It might be manure, which would be a whole different.
It's not poop. It's not excrement at all.
How do you know?
Why have you? This is the problem we have with aliens. You have been told by somebody that's poop, so you're believing that the baseline must be. It's not poop.
You can't prove that it's not.
There's no reason
you
for him
ever-
to have real poop. He can. It's just he's making a. And I don't even know what.
Did you ever go to one of those hypnotism shows at Cap City and think that people were
Unfortunately.
hypnotized?
What was his name? Richard De La Font? Richard De La. That was it, wasn't it?
Yeah,
De La
that
Soul.
was one of them.
Did you think people? Oh, did you get on stage for one of those things?
No, I can't be hypnotized like that. How come Preacher Dog S doesn't come up?
And what was the passage in the Bible that he was referring to? That sin equates to dog.
Yeah, here's a bunch of it. Pastor stuck his
It's the
hands
first
in
story
dog
right there.
poo.
Pastor
no, I
shut-
see it 50 times. I'm just trying to find it at a different, at a different kind of format. Yeah, here it is straight. Let's see what he says. Well, we don't know. We can't prove it. It's one of those things. You know what? Extraordinary claims demand extraordinary science. Did I say that wrong?
It's close enough.
Yeah. All right. We won't know.
If you had your choice, though, between going to a guitar church or a poo church, which on any given Sunday, which one would you
I'm
choose?
sleeping
You sleeping in either way?
If let's say it's all true, and the day of judgment comes, and they mention a lot of sex stuff, and then they go, and you never.
Are you talking about the story of your life? What is that? Defending your life?
Yeah, I don't have the harmonizer on. And you never went to church after the age of 22.
And you touched yourself
And
every other day.
I just already brought that up, Bob.
Well,
and
I put it.
I will be, and it's an embarrassing video. I will go. Yeah, the sleeping in thing has totally been worth it on Sundays. Totally. All right, thank you everybody on camera. This is a boring one for camera. I apologize. My bad programming. I'm a horrible person.
Oh, thank you, RenegadeTruck.net, by the way, and Takova's Boots.
But go back
for sponsoring this.
If you're watching on camera and you've never heard of us before, go back 3 videos and watch Chewy with Things Go Better with Pot. I think you'll get a laugh. Okay, and back in a minute.
QC Kinetic.
Dudley and Bob with Matt in studio is brought to you by Tecovas, providing top quality Western boots and accessories online at tecovas.com, and by Renegade Truck Accessories, your source for truck caps, bed covers, lift kits, and custom services online at renegadetruck.net.